So you want to become an absolute animal with Bloodhound, hey? What do you need to do, when do you need to do it, and how do you do it? Well, in this guide I'm going to tell you just that. There's no BS free Apex coins here, no 10-minute thresholds to push double ads in front of you, and no smashing of those bloody like buttons. I'm chucking you straight into the deep end, and hopefully it would all make sense. So here's how to win as Bloodhound in Apex Legends. Straight off the bat, I'm guessing you all know what Bloodhound skills do, so I won't really need to go into too much detail there. I want to give you as much expert knowledge as possible in a small amount of time so you can jump back into the game to smash some noob skulls. Right, so let's briefly go over the pros and cons before I tell you how to properly use Bloodhound. The pros. Firstly, Bloodhound is a great aggressive legend and perfect for stalking or engaging. He, she, or whatever Bloodhound is one of the best close combat legends in my opinion. You also have an extremely useful set of skills when using Bloodhound. Oh, and Bloodhound has a very small hitbox. For now at least. The cons: Bloodhound is one of the loudest characters in the game. I'll talk about that in more detail in a minute. You also have quite a large head. It's no lifeline little peanut head. Bloodhound has a giant hat, which also counts towards his hitbox. And Bloodhound isn't that useful for team play, to a certain extent. Bloodhound is very much a solo, high damage legend, and his skills very much give him an advantage instead of his team. Right, now the nitty-gritty stuff. As mentioned, Bloodhound is a highly aggressive legend, meaning your best way of winning is to use him as a high damage legend that starts fights first. Mama always used to say never start fights first, but you know, Bloodhound is exempt from that. Your main objective is to track enemies using your passive. This passive will show you clues if enemies are close and how long ago the action was made. For example, a door may have been opened 20 seconds ago, meaning you know they should be in your grid somewhere. Use these clues to inform your team that enemies are close. And this should overall give you an advantage when you next engage. When you finally find the team, this is your chance to get up close and personal. With this, you'll need a strong first blow, so we suggest taking a shotgun of some kind or a quick fire assault rifle such as a R301 carbine. If your team are good, which I know it's quite rare at times if you go in solo, they should know you are the first one to attack. After that, hell will break loose and hopefully you would have dropped their first teammate before they can get to you. Now is your chance to use your first skill, Eye of the Allfather. This will send out an orange pulse that detects nearby enemies, but you'll only see them for a second or two, so you either use that information to heal up or get away, or simply engage. Your team should be with you by now to relieve some stress, but make sure you get to the enemy quick as they can see and hear that orange beacon too, so they'll most likely run from their previous position if they're smart. That's the only downer about this skill, is that enemies can see that you've activated it, meaning that they know that you're near and they know that you've just saw them, so they could play that to their advantage, but just be smart, act quick, and you'll be fine. This moves me on to Bloodhound's last skill, Beast of the Hunt, which basically turns you Super Saiyan. This will activate a number of features. Firstly, you can move considerably faster, again great for hunting. Secondly, your screen will turn black and white. You'll also be able to see recent enemy footprints while this is happening in bright red, and finally enemies will be bright red too, meaning you can see them through the bushes, smoke, and in general just see them much clearer, allowing for, hopefully, higher hit accuracy. You'll want to use this when engaging too, just before a fight if you have your ultimate fully charged. But first, you'll want to have a Bangalore on your team, because when Bangalore uses her smoke, you can actually see through the smoke clear as day when you use your ultimate. Meaning you're practically invisible to the team, but they're looking like a bright red gummy bear after a good old vape session. This is the ideal engagement, but you'll need a good teammate to pull it off. But when you do, oh boy, it's incredibly satisfying. And lastly, one thing you'll need to take into consideration when using your ultimate is the noise it makes. Bloodhound will sound like a panting rhinoceros running through trees, meaning enemies will be able to hear you where you are and when you're close. Also, the giant red eyes don't really help too, and you're easy to spot when you're mid to long range, so just watch your back for snipers or teams when you're trying to engage. So that's pretty much a quick guide on how to kick ass with Bloodhound. Track using your clues, engage with your ultimate, and then kill with your close range weapons, and then just repeat. You'll be champion in no time.